It is 4:15 or just about. Still managing to wake up at 4. So that's good. What was I gonna say? Wednesday. Got a few things to do on my plate, but I'm gonna try to be more busy today. Yesterday, classes plus waiting for phone to upload. It took a lot of time and interrupted my day quite a bit. So hopefully that's all squared away. So yeah. Let's see what else. Not quite sure what today has in store yet. Toothpaste still on my face. How embarrassing is that? Yeah, just want to show you that I'm getting up, so hopefully that motivates you to also get up as well. That I'm not just telling you to do something, I'm actually living it. And now I'm going to do some 20 minutes of yoga, followed by a couple of strength exercises, meaning push-ups and sit-ups. Warm up, and then you still got to build some muscle, like a beginner challenge thing. So it's not really that intensive, especially since I'm not that flexible. As many people come to realize that when they just start doing something, they're not going to be that great at it. And sometimes yoga can be one of those that can be frustrating, that you suck so much at just stretching. The simplest of things, right? So just keep doing it, and if it's not enough, keep doing some more. Okay, the final and 7th condition to success, I didn't say step this time, is, let me read it here, we need a capacity to enjoy the process along the way. And I've heard this a few times from motivational speakers, but also from reading now, and going, what is exactly enjoying the process along the way? Well, so let's start with Tom Morris's little take here. So he says he was reading a South Vietnamese Buddhist monk's take on it, and let me read the quote that he quotes. We're always thinking about the future or the past. The moment we ignore is the only one that we actually have. He says, feel the feet in your shoes, the cloth on your arm, the air on your face. Be here, now. And that's the present, right? And that's not the journey, but that's, the journey is individual steps. So just take every step, and that is your day, and just enjoy the day that you have. Because if you, there's another Peterson quote that says, I think I mentioned this before, but if all you're looking forward and living for is retirement, and you finally get to retirement, and you're 65, 70, you're like, oh, I'm finally retired, I'm glad I can finally enjoy life. And first of all, you really don't have as much energy as you did when you had youth, and second of all, you'll probably get bored in the first 2 weeks of retirement. It's a lot of people go through that. It's like they retire and then all of a sudden they're so bored, and like, I was working so hard for this. So that's really the point of enjoying every day and aligning your day. And that also then harkens back to the whole meditation practice of the Miracle Morning, and that's really forcing yourself to separate yourself from thinking about the future or thinking about the past, and just concentrating on the present, right? So that way you take a forced moment on your day, even though you might not want to, but it's one way that you can really connect with the day that you have in front of you. Let's see what else. Oh, I'm going to read that the How to Stop Worrying book by Dale Carnegie, and I was reading the first chapter, and that's why I decided to read it now for essentially the reading to riches thing that I'm doing. And he says, he gives an anecdote of somebody else who essentially said, in order to avoid worrying and getting caught up in the future or the past, put an airtight compartment around your day. And as soon as that day is done, you vacuum seal it, boom, and it goes into essentially, it's no longer accessible, right? So it'll make a lot more sense when you get to that reading. Just be looking out for it in the playlist of the Reading to Riches. It'll make a lot more sense. It's really, taking that day, live in it, and then once it's done, put it aside, and then you have your brand new day. The meditation, and then it also goes back to when somebody has a near-death experience, and for some reason they now have a new lease on life, and what really stands out to them is, the green of the grass, and how soft and wet the grass feels beneath their feet, and how blue the sky is, and how puffy and white the clouds are, and how essentially peaceful and serene everything is. And we don't really need a near-death experience to enjoy that. Sometimes we just have to lay on the grass consciously and just look up at the sky, and you don't necessarily have to sit down in the middle of a dark room and do the whole Zen thing. Sometimes you just look up at the sky and find yourself in the world in that moment, in that day. The Peterson thing about we find meaning in life to the burdens we carry, and it's not the destination to where we're bringing the burden, but it's the journey along the way that gives us meaning. So on the flip side, we need to have a capacity to enjoy the journey, but also it's the journey that gives us meaning. So we need to align the two, right? So finding that telos, aligning ourselves with which burden we want to carry and which direction we want to bring it to. That way we can find fulfillment and meaning in life. And let's go back all the way to the beginning of the Tom Morris presentation when he talks about Hill A. And we know once you bring up your burden to Hill A and you stop there and you say, that's it. People get depressed when they no longer have the burden to carry. They're kind of at the top and they no longer have the journey. They reach the game over on the video game, and most people say, well, let's start a new video game because that's easy. And a lot of people don't say, oh, I'm going to start another business or do this or that, because it's hard. But if you truly want to find meaning and success again, that's where you have to start. And then that'll give you the capacity to enjoy the journey. Anything else? So that dumb cliche saying that says stop and take time to smell the roses, that is a little bit more powerful when you think about it this way, right? And that's take time to enjoy the present, because that's the moment we have. And you don't want to wait until retirement to enjoy what you've worked so hard for. Take time, enjoy where you are in life right now, and that'll make everything so much more satisfying. You won't feel like you're somehow squandering something, or like, oh, I could be a multimillionaire right now, and there's so many people that are, and I'm not. Well, stop comparing yourself to other people. You're in your competition with yourself. And while you are working up towards that point, take time, smell the roses, and enjoy the journey. Anyway, I'll leave you with the outro of the Tom Morris presentation. I think he does it a nice little synopsis and a little anecdote at the end that I think you might find encouraging. So I'll leave you with that, and then the next of our vlog, I'm going to do the quadrant cash flow steps to financial freedom, I think. Enjoy this little snippet.
The Greeks said, know thyself. I wish like crazy they had said, enjoy thyself. Because you know what? If you enjoy the process, your goal setting is easier. Confidence building flows. The concentration will come. Consistency won't have to be so hard won. That emotional commitment will be part of it. All these things work together. I brought you the card because a top financial person in New York City said, Tom, I'm calling you on the phone today. Because for the first time in my life, 2 days ago, my purse was stolen in Manhattan. I said, I was nowhere near Manhattan 2 days ago. She said, no. Of all the things I've got to replace, Visa, Amex, MasterCard, driver's license, the most important thing is a laminated wallet card on the 7 Cs you gave me a year and a half ago in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I said, that's the most important. She said, Tom, I read it every day. It changes the way I do my business. It changed the way I live my life. I got to have a card again. I said, you know what? I'm going to send you a box of cards. The great thinkers would be so proud of you. Live the wisdom of the ages. Live the ideas that have stood the test of time.
If you don't have the laminated card, because I don't, and probably neither do you, just write it on the back of a business card. Keep it in your wallet, and every time you take your credit card out or something, just look at it. Just kind of keep it in the back of your head. You don't necessarily have to read everything. Just read one of them and put it back, and then you'll once a week you'll go through the entire list. So just keep it in your wallet and let it shape your future, and keep your mindset focused on how to be successful.